Hello, everyone. Welcome to Politics Today, live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimaloye in Abuja. Let's begin tonight by letting you know that our attention is going to be primarily, first and foremost, on the People's Democratic Party and the National Convention. Mr. Uche Secondus is not happy, and he says that he's going ahead to challenge the ruling of the appeal court of the earlier judgment today. What does that mean? We hear from one of the biggest names in the party tonight on the program. Stay with us, everyone. But first, let's check out your political roundup stories.
A former Minister of National Planning, Professor Lanrewaju Suleiman, is calling the Central Bank of Nigeria to review its policies to find a lasting solution to the depreciation of the Naira. Speaking at a roundtable organized by the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies in Abuja, Professor Suleiman, who is the Director General of the Institute, says there's an urgent need to reverse the effect of depreciation on the nation's economy.
I think fundamentally there's a need for strict policy framework.
Ahead of the Anambra governorship election, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and the Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC, are concerned that insecurity has created voter apathy in Anambra State. According to the INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, out of the 5,720 polling units in Anambra State, 86 have no single voter, while 894 have only between 1 and 49 voters.
This can be partly attributed to the security situation in the state, which has affected the Commission's pre-election outdoor activities.
Thank you so much for staying with us, everyone. So let's tell you that the appeal court in Port Harcourt has today granted the People's Democratic Party the right to hold its national convention scheduled for tomorrow, the 30th and 31st of October 2021. Delivering the ruling on behalf of two other justices earlier today, Justice Gabriel Kalaole held that the attempt by the applicant, that is Uche Secondus, to suspend the planned convention is an act of self-induced urgency to disrupt an ongoing lawful process of the party. He wondered why Uche Secondus waited for too long to seek the stoppage of the process, which had been communicated to the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, by the acting national chairman of the party, Yemi Akinwumi, who Secondus duly handed over to. The judge also held that Secondus did not oppose the notice of the convention written by the acting chairman to INEC and did not also oppose INEC replying to the PDP through the acting chairman. Meanwhile, the governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, has been reacting to the outcome of the court decision.
He's telling us to rescue Nigeria. Nigeria is in problem. And we cannot do it alone. We require everybody to work with us collectively and see how this country can be rescued. So if there's anybody who is being used, or group of people who are being used to derail this movement of rescuing Nigeria from the mess we are in, PDP will not take it lightly. That is to let people know that we are serious about it. This rescue movement, we are serious about it, and nothing will stop us from rescuing this country. The Court of Appeal did not only dismiss the application, the Court of Appeal made further order that PDP should be unrestrained from conducting their convention. Because, you know, in this period we are, somebody could by 2 p.m. go to one court somewhere and get an injunction stopping our convention. So Court of Appeal has, as if knowing the circumstance, knowing Nigeria and our politicians, that anything could be done. They didn't say, we dismiss this application. They went further to say nothing should restrain, nothing should make PDP not to conduct their convention. And it is clear.
The governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, reacting to the judgment. Well, Prince Uche Secondus has also been reacting to the ruling and has insisted that he will challenge the matter in court. In a statement today through Mr. Secondus' office, he says that the issue is not about Prince Uche Secondus, but about the sanctity of our party, constitution, and core democratic principles of justice and rule of law, not only in PDP, but in our democracy. No impunity must be condoned. End of quote. That is from Prince Uche Secondus. Meanwhile, the planning committee of the PDP and delegates are already looking forward to tomorrow's convention. And we're keeping tabs on the preparations and the exercise here at Channels Television. We'll be live for you at the grounds from the early hours of the day tomorrow. So stay with us to get all the details from the convention. But there are expectations and that there will be about 3,500 delegates to attend the convention and take part in the election. Take a listen to the National Planning Committee of the PDP on this.
The result of the screening committee was submitted to me yesterday, and all the positions and individuals that were disqualified was further upheld by the appeal committee. I still want to bring it to your notice that at the moment we're making efforts to reconcile most of our contestants so that we can streamline them and have a better convention. We will be expecting 3,600 delegates tomorrow. Most of the positions as of today, except for 3, will not be contested. At the moment, we're still talking to those that are contesting for the office of the Deputy National Chairman South, and those that are contesting for office of the Auditor, and those that are now contesting for office of the Youth Leader. I think at the moment, these are just the offices that are still having people contesting for them. The rest have been streamlined and they are at consensus level.
Well, it looks so much that all is set for tomorrow, barring any last-minute decision from any court, as the case may be, as we've seen in the past. Everything should go ahead as the party has planned. But what does today's event, what does it mean for the party? And, of course, this ruling party does hope that it will come back into prominence at the center in 2023 election. I'm being joined tonight by the chairman of the People's Democratic Party Board of Trustees, Chief Wali Jibrin. He joins us here in our Abuja studio. Thank you so much, Chief Jibrin, for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much.
Well, I say congratulations on the court case. Or how does this? How do you receive this? Mixed feelings for you. Prince Uche Secondus is your very good son. How does this come to you, first and foremost?
Yes, I would say, in all honesty, that the decision of the Court of Appeal is very welcome development for our party and for the people of Nigeria, because the judiciary had proved to be a real judiciary going by the law of justice, and have come out with their judgment today. But I would say, in all honesty, that we are leaders in the party, and we are members that have worked with Secondus up to this moment of judgment, stay with him, work with me, with him, have gone all this far to do injustice to himself and to the party, and trying to kill the integrity, the owner of this party, the party that he had built, the party that he had led leadership for a long time, and for him today, insisting that he is fighting for his own right. Which right? Is he not looking for the right of the PDP as a party? I think I'm very, very disappointed at the chairman of the beauty of the party for seconding to have gone all that far. Despite the fact that we have even formed a reconciliatory committee of very, very distinguished members of our party and distinguished members of Nigeria who have gone very far in trying to solve this problem. But he has abandoned everybody. And he said he's fighting for his own right. Which right is he fighting for?
Doesn't he have a right to...
What right? He's a member of BOT. That's number one. There are rules and regulations guiding BDP. And he is also a member of BOT under my command. And I wonder for him to have gone too far. All others who had a problem has stepped down or cooled down. He refused to cool down and say he's fighting for his right. Which right?
He doesn't have a right?
Which right is that?
As a citizen of Nigeria?
One is a citizen of Nigeria. Is a member of BDP, guarded by a constitution of Nigeria, guarded by a constitution of the party, PDP. He is not in and out of these guidelines and what led to what has happened to him.
I remember recently when Senator Alimadu Sharif was the chairman of your party, because now Prince Uche II says he's going to challenge this case in the Supreme Court. Are you worried about what has happened in the past and what is happening now? There seems to be a replay of events.
Thank you very much. We played a great role in curtailing the ego of Madu Sharif. And it was BOT under my leadership that are going to all extents to fight and let do what Madu Sharif has done. We told him from the beginning of what he did, and our suggestion, our advice came true. He went to appeal, he went to Supreme Court. What was the result of Madu Sharif? We became his enemy for nothing. I will not assist him. Why is Madu Sharif now? He's nowhere. And then secondly, you fought very seriously, agree with us, agree with the BOT of this party to fight Madu Sharif. You are in the forefront. You are also a member of BOT who did this thing together with you. And it has come now again. You are debated completely in trying to be Madu Sharif number 2.
So let me ask you, are you worried? Because we know that some ruling come at night. Are you worried there might be anything that could come between now and tomorrow morning?
There's no worry at all. I'm very convinced we're in order. Everything is set for this convention.
Chief Jibrin, if you look at it, I mean, you said you have set up a reconciliation, but there are those who are secondus followers in the PDP. There are those who believe in Secondus. There are those who are in support of him, who are not happy with the situation of things. Don't you think that there is now an obvious division in the party?
There is no any division for the action taken by Secondus. I assure you, I'm telling you the truth, that 90% of the members of BOT are happy with this statement. They are dishappy with Secondus taking this action because Secondus stayed with this party from the beginning in 1998. Me and him were founding members of this party right from 1998. He led a lot of, he had a lot of big positions in this party. What he's doing now is what he did when he was the chairman of the party, to quench all troubles, to be in the forefront, to they allow this counterinsurgency to happen. And today in the forefront again. That's why I regard him as model number 2.
That's interesting, though.
Yes.
I don't know how he will react to that when, if I mean, listening to you right now. Because
but I don't care.
You don't care?
I don't care.
Okay.
Yes.
So, I mean, do you care about this obvious division in the party?
Why is the division? We have no division in the party at all.
So let me ask you also.
If we have division,
yeah,
would we have the opportunity with the kind of gentlemen and ladies that we have going for this convention? This convention would have been dead by now.
But let me ask you, someone like former Governor Oyinlola and about 2 other positions are still not, you have not agreed whether to go on consensus. Almost all the positions are now consensus. The National Youth Leader, the Deputy National Vice Chairman South is not agreed to. The auditor position is also not agreed to be done in consensus. So, are you talking to Chief Oyinlola in stepping up, because that is what we hear most of the leaders are doing, or we are advising him to stay or his opponent to step down? What are you talking? What are you?
You see, there's an opportunity for consensus, and we have done all we are doing to have a consensus. But if we don't have a consensus, what do? We go to what our constitution say. Go to the bill. When you go to the bill, then the convention, the delegates will now decide who is the sort. But I'm sure between now and tomorrow morning, you find that many of them will step down for one party or the other.
Have you personally, the BOT chairman, spoken to Chief Oyinlola?
Well, Chief Oyinlola is my friend. The other person, Opadata, is my friend. Oladapo is my friend. We have stayed with them, all of them. We have done everything together. We have been calling that we have to look at this party as supreme, not independent. Are they fighting for independent rights? Are they fighting for themselves? Or they are trying to solve the problem of PDP? If 2 people decided to talk to them, advise them, if I the one, I will quickly take to the party decision and not to allow the party to be divided.
All right. I mean, let's wrap up now, and quickly too. Your party is still talking about throwing open the zoning for presidency, because all of what you're doing tomorrow is also to prepare your party ahead of the presidential election. Now, you're silent about the zoning. You're throwing it open. Interestingly, someone like Chief Dele Momodu just moved into your party. How do you receive that kind of movement into your party?
What I received with great happiness, the incumbent or the gentleman to our party. And many will come in the next
3 months, you see the number of people that will join our party. You see, the issue of what you are talking about these individuals trying to come in to insist. The two member of the party, who had the party at heart would heed to the advice, intervention of elders, governors, BOT, and all other people talking about individual. Please, let's go together.
All right. So, Chief, let's close now. I know you're a good friend to Alhaji Atiku Abubakar and a few others whose names have come up. Who are you really supporting for the party's ticket?
I'm the chairman of BOT. We have not come to that yet. Because...
But you have a preference.
Which preference?
Alhaji Atiku Abubakar is your friend.
I love all of them.
Senator Bukola Saraki is also your friend.
I love him very well.
Governor Tambuwa is also your friend.
I love him very well.
So none of them you're supporting?
Not that I'm not supporting, but when the truth come, you see me dancing with each one of them.
I would love to see how you dance, especially with your turban, isn't it? That's what you call it.
I don't mind to remove this turban.
Chiwali Jibring, congratulations again, I must say, because conventions are like festivals for a political party, and we'll see how that plays out tomorrow. Thank you so much, the BOT chairman of the People's Democratic Party. We'll look into more details of the planning of tomorrow's event. Plus, a member of Secondos-led PDP National Working Committee will join us in a moment and hear how they've run the party in 4 years and the transition. Stay with us, everyone. We'll be right back. Thank you so much, everyone. We're now being joined by the National Publicity Secretary of the PDP, Mr. Kola Ologbondiyan, who is being in the center of the planning for these tomorrow's convention. Thank you so much, Mr. Ologbondiyan.
Thank you very much.
And how has it been for you? 4 years now that you have been in the saddle, speaking for your party. Now you are transitioning to exit the party under the Chief Secondo's leadership. But first and foremost, is everything all right for tomorrow?
Thank you very much, and good evening, Nigerians. For us in the People's Democratic Party, we are very set for the National Convention. And if you go to the Eagle Square as I speak, or you move around the Abuja city, you will notice a beehive of activities. Nigerians are happy that People's Democratic Party is rallying with them to move Nigeria as a nation out of the precipices that it has been sunk to in the last 6 years by the All Progressives Congress. And as such, the city is bubbling with activities. The venue of the convention, the Eagle Square, is also bubbling. So we are ready for the National Convention, preparatory to the 2023 election. And our theme to Nigerians is, come, let us rescue Nigeria together.
I thought it would be first, come, let us rescue our party.
The People's Democratic Party is intact.
Because
it's united and it is strong.
Some of you were going to look for hypertensive medication because of the court case. That's what some of
No, that's not correct.
No, hold on, Mr. Logbodiyan. That's what. Hold on, Mr. Because some of your critics online were saying that some of those who have hypertension in PDP were seeking medication so that in case whatever happens from the court, that was on the lighter side, because of the crisis that was led to the court's case.
So you know that's purely a media creation.
The crisis?
No, the issue that we are looking for hypertensive drugs, the issue that, we have a crisis that was going to shake the foundation.
Didn't you have a crisis, Mr. Kolobodiyan?
Interestingly,
that you're a former journalist.
It's not a crisis.
So you understand what media creation is.
What people should know.
If you don't have a crisis, would you have gone to the court?
What people should know is that even in the family of 3, the father, the mother, and the child,
There's contestation.
And there's crisis.
A contestation
is a crisis.
It's not. It's not.
Is. When you fight, there's a crisis.
There's a contestation over who controls, even the remote control in the house. Do you agree?
That's a disagreement.
Do you agree? No, it doesn't necessarily.
Disagreement when you don't agree.
It's not necessarily.
You know, the reason why I don't agree with
there's a struggle. There's a struggle.
Try to make it look like
who controls the remote control.
You have your crisis. You have your crisis, and that's it.
Who controls?
So the question now is that the division. How is the party able to galvanize itself? Because, for example, I was asking Chief Jibrin about those who have not agreed to consensus, because your party is open that every position will be on consensus basis.
In 2017, December 9, when I ran for the National Publicity Secretary, I was the sort of the unity candidate. However, there were 3 other aspirants who came to run against me. But it pleases the leadership, it then pleased the leadership of the party and the blessing of God that I emerged. Like Senator Wale Jubrin, the BOT chairman, just said, we will work towards consensus in the party in order to minimize tension. However, where consensus is unachievable, we go to the field. And it's part of democracy. But you see, that's why I talk about media creation. I agree that we are professional colleagues. You understand?
You used to be one.
No, we are still professional colleagues. I agree that we are professional colleagues.
Making reference to 4 years ago, I was on that ground that day.
Yes.
And the names emerged, unity list.
Yes.
That there are other lists.
Yes.
There are about 2 or 3 other lists on the grounds that day that were being spread out.
Yes.
You were on the list of the powerful and those who prevailed in the list that brought you into office, or the list that prevailed in the end.
Yeah, because that was a consensus list.
Yeah, but there are other lists that they believe it was consensus.
No.
So the question is that how are we sure those kind of lists will not be flying around tomorrow?
That's why I said when I ran, in spite of the fact that I was the unifying candidate, there were other people whom you have said were on other lists who came to the convention ground and they earned votes. But at the end of the day, because the determination of the leadership of the party is in the direction, and because interests have been built together, definitely one candidate will emerge. So that is it. That's the situation.
So because the question is, I mean, we heard how the overtures thrown at being made towards former Governor Onyilola for the chairmanship, and those interests that wanted him. At the end of the day, things went the other way, and you had the consensus from the North Central. Senator Iyorchia Ayu now is being the consensus candidate for the North for the position, and now we have a situation where Governor Onyilola is not backing down, and some other people are also not backing down. 3 positions now are in contest. So it brings up the issue again. That's why we're asking whether or not there are people who are aggrieved and who are saying that we'll see this to the very end, because those divisions are also very important in politics.
Sheung, I can give you an assurance that between now and the time when we'll go into election at the convention, there will be many concessions. People might concede, people might agree to reasoning, people might withdraw. And if this is lacking, where we cannot achieve this, we'll go to the convention ground. An election will be held.
Does your party look cohesive enough to withstand the ruling party force in an election as it stands right now?
Sure. You know, the Yorubas have a way of saying that that is, you are comparing the dead with the living. What is left of EPC? You cannot even stand in the place of PDP.
They are ruling party at the moment.
Ruling party without followership. Where's the followership?
They don't have followership.
Have you not seen congresses of APC resulting into killings, maiming, people pulling arsenals against each other? Have you witnessed that in the People's Democratic Party? Our party is cohesive. Our party is that political party that Nigerians believe can reshape the country and restore us back to prosperity.
Have you earned that trust?
What is left? Who is contending with us?
No, the question is that
who is contending with
if you had a trust, you wouldn't have lost election in 2015. If you had a trust, you would have won the election in 2019. The question is, Mr. Ologbodiyan, Do you have the trust of Nigerians?
So let me give you
as it stands
let me give you one practical example. So you live in a house. Welcome to Abuja. I've not even greeted you. Welcome to Abuja fully.
Thank you.
You live in a house in Abuja here. You were satisfied. Even if you were dissatisfied by some limits to what is happening in that house, you believe that, oh, okay, things will improve. Then somebody suddenly came and said, Shen, what are you doing in that house? I will take you to an El Dorado. Where I am taking you to, oh, you don't need to go through the stairs before you will land in your room. Oh, you don't even need to cook in the kitchen before you feed yourself. Oh, you don't even need to turn on the tap in order to have your shower.
Who's making out these promises in
APC
the
did. And 6 years down the line, you have come to a realization that these people just came with what my generation used to call Fabu. Fabu is absolute lie.
But
you understand?
And compared 6 years compared to 16 years of your party's rule.
You know, even the APC was campaigning and telling Nigerians, oh, 16 years, 16 years. Do they say that today? They don't. Because even the APC members who are talking to us in the People's Democratic Party, they will confess it that they have lost it. With the people, the trust has collapsed completely.
You are winning.
In
Some
the
of the
Democratic
governors
Party.
are winning former governor Mimiko. Now we're saying Chief Dele Momodu move into your party. He was a former presidential candidate.
He will formally declare
who?
Chief Dele Momodu
as what?
He will be formally received at the National Convention ground tomorrow. Former Governor Mimiko and his team, including Agbola, who ran on the platform of Zen Labour Party in Ondo State, they will formally make a declaration that they have left the party of lies and they have come to the light and to the truth. So let me tell you one thing. And you know this. If you go on the streets of Abuja today, ordinary lighting that we used to enjoy on the highways, can you find them? A government that cannot even replace a bulb on the street is promising you that it wants to replace itself. How is it going to achieve it? So what do you see as challenges? The desires of Nigerians, the aspiration of Nigerians is bigger than the challenges that you are looking at in the People's Democratic Party. We don't have challenges. There is no way that you have a political party that there will be no contestation for power. It now depends how this is managed. And as far as the People's Democratic Party is concerned, we are managing this. And I'm sure you will be on the ground tomorrow. And I will come and tell you, I want you to sing. This is so and so person from so and so state. Is he not here? That's so and so person. So what we are having tomorrow is a fun fair.
All right. So let's wrap up now. So you're speaking so much like an opposition person, and rightly so. I mean, not the first time I'm hearing this. It doesn't sound strange to me. But the confidence that you have right now is what I'm wondering what gave birth to it and how you are going to be able to tell Nigerians in the next few years, should you get the opportunity to come back to power, whether or not you deserve it. So going forward, the reconciliation, how has that gone?
As you know, under the leadership of this current working committee, we created the Senator Bukola Saraki's Reconciliation Committee, and I believe they are moving well. And even all our governors, all our leaders in the party, be it in the BOT, we are working towards a harmonized political party. And so, I want Nigerians, through you, to understand that at times like this, in every political party, there must be contestation. There must be those who want to control the situation. And this must create some bubbles in the political family.
Right.
But it doesn't mean that it will not be rested. Even this situation has become rested.
Mr. Kala Ologbodi, the National Publicity Secretary of the People's Democratic Party, thank you so much for talking to us. We'll be witnessing, China's television will be live for you tomorrow at the PDP convention tomorrow, and we'll give you all the details you need to know. We'll take a break, everyone, and when we return, our attention will be on the impeachment of the Speaker of the Plateau House of Assembly and the replacement. We'll be right back. The impeachment of Hulabalu. That is our focus. Welcome back, everyone. So let's take you to Plateau State, where there seems to be a familiar drama in the Plateau House of Assembly. Yesterday, when the Speaker, Nuhu Abak, was impeached by 8 members of the House, The member representing Pengana constituency, Yakubu Sanda, was named as the new speaker. He was removed in the early hours of Thursday by lawmakers from the ruling All Progressives Congress APC, who were escorted into the chambers amidst tight security. The embattled Speaker of the Plateau State House of Assembly, Noah Bok, says he will continue to stand for truth, justice, and the rights of the Plateau people. Honorable Bok stated this on Thursday, shortly after 8 legislatures in the state impeached him as Speaker of the Plateau Parliament. According to the embattled lawmaker, the development is only giving him more strength to stand for the people. Meanwhile, the Not Too Young to Run movement is condemning the removal of Mr. Ayuba Abok as a Speaker of the Plateau State House of Assembly. Addressing the news conference today in Abuja, the convener of the movement, Mr. Samson Itodo, explains that the impeachment process is illegal and cannot stand. Take a listen to him.
8 members of the Plateau State House of Assembly convened an unlawful sitting of the House. At that illegal sitting, they initiated impeachment, an impeachment proceeding on the Speaker of the Plateau State House of Assembly, Honorable Nuhu Abok, one of Nigeria's young speakers of parliament. The purported impeachment violates the procedure stipulated by the Constitution for the impeachment of a duly elected Speaker of the House of Assembly. Section 92, sub 2, paragraph C of the 1999 Constitution as amended provides that a Speaker can only be removed from office by a resolution or vote of not less than 2/3 majority of members of the House of Assembly. By virtue of this provision, a minimum of 16 members of the House of 24 people would have.
All right, you heard what the provision of the law says. So let's speak to the different sides of the divide in the Plateau State House of Assembly involving all of these imbroglio. I'm being joined now by Honorable Daniel Nalong, who is the chairman of the majority leader of the House. He joins us virtually. And now we're being joined here in the studio by Honorable Philip Dasong, who is the chairman of the House Committee on Information and Information in this Plateau State House of Assembly. Thank you so much, Honorable, for joining us.
So
I understand that we'll soon get to see the Honorable member that is joining us virtually, Honorable Nalong.
Daniel.
What happened? Were you there at the moment when the Speaker was impeached?
Good evening, Nigerians. I'm Dasun Philip Peter, member representing Pankshin North in the Plateau State House of Assembly and the Chairman House Committee on Information. I was there. We got an information very early in the morning that our colleagues were in the Assembly attempting to impeach our Speaker that was duly elected by the 24 of us. Now, before that day, we had a clue of it, that something like that was going to happen. But we never suspected that the timing was going to be that early. When we got the information, we rushed into the Assembly.
How many of you were there?
At the point I arrived, 7 were in, plus myself, 8.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a very quick question.
Go ahead.
The questions are to give our viewers a sense of what is happening. So you have 24 members in the House,
yes,
representing the whole of Plateau State.
Yes.
Now, to form a quorum to sit, how many members do you need?
To form a quorum to sit, we need 16 members.
You need 16 members, and you were 8.
Yes, we were 8.
Did you meet in the House chambers?
Yes, inside the House
chambers. You met in the House chambers?
Yes.
Who presided over the sitting?
It was the Deputy Speaker, Right Honorable Saleh Shehu.
He has the powers under law to convene it. But what time of the day did they convene them?
6:30 a.m., which negates our House rule. 6:30 a.m.
6:30 a.m.
Yes.
What is the prescribed time to set up to sit for the
Our
sitting?
House rule is 9 a.m.
9 a.m.
9 a.m.
That is the House rule.
That is the House rule.
So you got the information that there's going to be something like that. So you rushed there.
I rushed in.
So what did you participate, because you are one of those who opposed the impeachment?
Yes, my participation was on the opposition side, trying to halt the process of the impeachment. It was a coup to me, a political coup. That wasn't an impeachment because the process was not according to legislative practice globally. I arrived there very early. On arrival, I got one of our colleagues, Honorable Henry Dakokol, trying to pass a vote of no confidence on the Speaker. I shouted, I objected it, I attempted to stop the process, but the Deputy Speaker never gave me any opportunity to do so.
So what happened to you?
When I wasn't given opportunity
7 people voted for impeachment.
Yes.
You voted against.
I even rushed to pick the mace to go away with it because
you wanted to carry the mace.
I even picked it.
So you did what usually you always see
Yes,
on TV.
that was the only legal instrument that allowed them to do that assignment. So I decided to take it off the table. So at the point I was taking it off, I was almost going out with it. A colleague of mine, Right Honorable Baba Hassan, hit me down. I fell, hit me again. I was on blood. I had to run, then return back. At the point I was coming back, my other colleagues rushed in to salvage the situation. And at that point, one of our colleagues, Honorable Danton, came pick up the mace, went with it. They were battling with the mace. At the point they were battling, that was when the purported coup took place.
All right. So was Honorable Nalong at that sitting?
Yes, he was at the
sitting. All right. He's joining us now. I understand now that his connection is clear enough. Thank you so much, Honorable Nalong, for joining us. I asked some basic questions just to put premise and give our viewers an understanding. You are 24 in the House. 8 people sat on that for today on the morning of yesterday, Thursday. And you are supposed to be 16 to be able to form a quorum to sit. Now, is it 16 now to sit, to form a quorum?
Yeah.
Now, give us a sense of what happened. Why was the sitting, the plenary, called at 6:30 a.m. and why did you move for the impeachment of the Speaker?
Shehu, thank you very much for this good question. Let me clear the air to correct an impression that the time we arrived at the chamber was 6 o'clock. That is not true. Again, we were at the chamber by 8 when we were making an attempt to go in and the chamber was locked. So we had to look for the sergeant at arms to bring the key to the chamber before we get entrance to the chamber. And as at that time when we came in, let me also say this, that to form a quorum to sit, it is not 16, but 8. But the requirement for the removal of the Speaker is that you need the 2/3 of the 24 members of the House of Assembly. So when we met, thank God, it's interesting that the person that I'm speaking with, who is my deputy majority leader, was at the sitting alongside other PDP members who were present. The total numbers of people that were present at that sitting were 17. And every legislative process that is required for the removal of the Speaker was followed. And I challenged him too, that he was one of the persons who also signed, put his name, signed the 16 list that we have for the removal of the Speaker. Let him deny that he didn't sign that document.
Honorable Nalong, I'm going to also ask you some quick questions, just to put perspective into our conversation tonight. Your House rules, what time does it specify that you need to sit for plenary?
The House rules is very clear, that we can sit by 9, but that, again, in the same House rules, makes a provision that where the House deems fit, based on the necessity, the House can suspend that order and give room for members to sit. So we have suspended that order to allow the House to proceed with the sitting.
So quickly, another question will be, you stated yourself that you need 16 to 3rd to impeach the Speaker, but 8 members were there. 7 voted for the impeachment of the Speaker. Is that right?
Let me also correct an impression. Say, in our House rules, the proceeding for the removal of the Speaker, first, you must be able to secure 16 members who will append their signature for the removal of the Speaker. Then it will follow by a motion that will be raised by a member to call the attention of the Speaker that before him is 16 signatures that are calling for the removal of the Speaker. When he that motion, there must be a second. Edit the motion.
So, but let me allow you to react. Let me pick even from them. Did you sign?
I did not sign anything. There was no...
Were there signatures?
There were no signatures. I was there. The paper that was presented was just a jotter, empty on the table. I was there. I saw it. And let me speak clearly. He said a notice of motion will be served to the speaker. Was the speaker at that sitting? He wasn't.
Was the motion served on the speaker?
It wasn't served on him. He wasn't even aware. The speaker was not there. The aide he mentioned, was the speaker there?
I mean, I'm not sure your rule states that it must be there, but it says it must be served.
Yes, it must be served.
But was it served?
It wasn't served, one. Two, he lied. He lied in the sense that they started the plenary, the sitting around 8. Before 8, they had concluded. I left the chamber some few minutes after 7. At the point they finished their hollow-bellow brouhaha and political snitch, I call it a political coup, because that is not impeachment process. You will need a 16-member to make the minimum of 2/3 majority required by Constitution. Section 92, Article 2C says you will need a 2/3 majority to impeach the speaker. That is not gotten.
So let me ask you. I know in an impeachment process is fundamentally a political matter, a legal matter prompted by a political situation.
Yes.
So what really happened? Who is behind this?
I don't want to call any name.
Are you a member of the APC?
Yes, I'm a member of I am the deputy majority leader.
Okay. So
I'm a member of the APC.
So whatever is happening in your party, isn't it?
Yes. No, not in my party, in the assembly. Because the house is made up of both PDP and APC.
I know, but you are in the majority.
Yes, we are in the
majority.
majority.
How many PDP members are there?
9.
9. So they are in the minority.
They are in the minority.
So the question is that whatever has happened happened because of what is happening in your party.
Yes.
So what was it?
They said vote of no confidence.
Where is that coming from? Why?
From the very few 7.
Has the speaker done something wrong?
To me, he hasn't done anything wrong. Because
from your own point of view?
Yes, from my own point of view. Because in the content of the impeachment they presented, they said vote of no confidence without any reason attached to it.
But politically speaking, what can you tell Nigerians the truth? Because the man has been speaker all along for at least almost 2 years or more, and he was not impeached. Why the impeachment today?
Truth, as you said, can we tell Nigerians the truth? There is suspicion somewhere.
That what?
Suspicion of an intention of the speaker to move to a different party. That is a suspicion which was not concluded.
Let me hear from Honorable Nalong. If he's back, we lost his connection. Is that true? Is that the reason because he wants to move from the APC? Is that the reason why the impeachment was served on him?
Shehu, let me say that this is a whimpering of a dying cow. The truth of the matter is that the speaker has questions to answer. It's been since August. The speaker has refused to reconvene the House. The simple reason is because we have asked the speaker to account for his stewardship, because the House is autonomous. Our spending, there is a law that guides the regulation on how finance of the House should be spent and how decisions should be taken. He is a principal officer. I asked him this question: when was the last time the speaker called for principal officers meeting, when issues will be deliberated? The speaker has a tendency of taking unilateral decision. He operates with dictatorial tendencies that no issues are deliberated before we go for executive session. Today we have asked the speaker to render his account because of the reckless spending, that today there is a budget before us. We have a subhead that is supposed to be funded by the House of Assembly. And we have asked him. The speaker said that there is no money. He knows what I am talking about. And also, let me also make it very clear that...
Yeah, we need to close now. Quickly, let's wrap up in just 20 seconds. Let me get to your 20 seconds.
Any financial misappropriation by the speaker is to him together with the speaker, because he's the closest ally to the speaker next to me. So if he is claiming that since August there had never been any principal officer sitting, he's lying. We met 3 weeks ago, preparatory to presentation of budget. The governor presented budget 1 week ago. I'm a principal officer, he's one. He's majority leader, I'm deputy majority leader. Let's keep politics aside. We are not saying that there shouldn't be impeachment, but let the due process be followed.
Right. So your final word in 20 seconds, Honorable Nalong. We lost him again there. Well, we need to close now. I must sincerely thank both of you, and we hope that peace will return to the House that is obviously now very divided.
Having two speakers. One legal speaker, one illegal speaker.
That's
yes.
That's a crisis you need to resolve. Thank you so much, Honorable, for coming tonight.
Honorable
Nalong, also thank you so much for coming. That's our program for today, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm Sean Kimale. Bye for now.